Taylor Swift has a new album coming, The Life of a Showgirl, and we've got all the details. Join us every Sunday on the Taylor Swift Today podcast, your ultimate source for everything happening in Taylor's world. From her romance with Travis Kelce to career milestones, legal battles, and cultural impact, we cover it all. I'm Allie, and I'll bring you exclusive insights, breaking news, and the stories that matter to Swifties everywhere. Whether it's new music, red carpet appearances, or the latest from the Eras Tour, we're your weekly destination for Taylor Swift news. Subscribe to Taylor Swift Today wherever you get your podcasts.
Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., which was just invaded by Washington, D.C., this is Ballot.
That's right. The White House says this federal takeover is subject to change. That's the same thing my ex said about our relationship. Let's hit this. Hi, I'm Patrick Gutfield, and Donald Trump decided to take over Washington, D.C.'s police department and deploy the National Guard to the nation's capital. You know, most presidents worry about foreign enemies at the gates. Trump is worried about the gate itself asking for his ID. Trump released a presidential memorandum titled, Restoring Law and Order in the District of Columbia. Because nothing restores law and order quite like a man who's been indicted more times than a mob boss at a RICO trial. The memo claims D.C. has lost control of public order and safety, which is rich coming from someone whose own rallies require metal detectors and liability waivers. Trump wrote that Washington, D.C. has a violent crime rate higher than some of the most dangerous places in the world. One wonders if it's even more dangerous than Epstein Island, but we may never know because some coward won't release the files. Meanwhile, California Governor Gavin Newsom is having the time of his life on social media. He's tweeting at Trump like a divorced dad subtweeting his ex-wife's new boyfriend. Newsom posted, he will gaslight his way into militarizing any city he wants in America. This is what dictators do. And then Newsom's social media team really went off the rails. They posted a taco meme about Trump's tariffs. Trump always chickens out. They even questioned whether Attorney General Pam Bondi, who couldn't find the Epstein files, should head the D.C. Police Department. That's not fair. Maybe she found them. Maybe she just filed them under E for extremely buried. The best part? Newsom's team fired off a Trump-style all-caps message threatening to redistrict California. All-caps tweets, the official language of mature political discourse. So now we have the National Guard patrolling D.C. while the President of the United States and the Governor of California are having a Twitter fight. This is like watching your parents argue through passive-aggressive Facebook posts, except your parents have nuclear weapons and the ability to declare martial law. A federal judge denied the government's request to unseal Jeffrey Epstein grand jury transcripts. The judge said doing so casually or promiscuously would damage future testimony. Casually or promiscuously? Judge clearly doesn't know Epstein's business model. Trump's been pushing for these transcripts to quiet conspiracy theories from his own supporters. The president has to prove to his base he's not covering up evidence about a dead pedophile. That's not in the job description. Epstein died 6 years ago, officially a suicide. Trump supporters think Democrats murdered him. Right, because Democrats can't organize a bake sale, but somehow they're running prison assassinations. These people think Hillary runs a pizza basement, but can't figure out emails. So here we are. No lists, no evidence, no smoking guns. I guess nobody did nothing. Scientists have discovered what the rest of us figured out in kindergarten. French fries aren't health food. This comes from Harvard researchers who studied over 200,000 people for nearly 4 decades. And their groundbreaking conclusion? Eating French fries 3 times a week increases your diabetes risk by 20% compared to eating them less than once a week. Now, I love how they had to clarify this wasn't about all potatoes, just the fried ones. Regular potatoes, baked, boiled, mashed, those are fine. Even potato chips didn't increase diabetes risk in this study. So apparently the problem isn't the potato, it's what we do to it, which is very relatable. I'm perfectly fine until you put me in a hot oil bath too. The researchers say potatoes have gotten unfair bad press over the years. One nutrition professor called them basically healthy foods that have been long associated with poor health. Poor potatoes. They're out there trying to provide vitamin C and fiber, and we're dunking them in oil and calling them vegetables. Here's what makes French fries particularly dangerous. First, most aren't even fresh potatoes anymore. They're potato products, which sounds like something you'd find in a chemistry set. These frozen fries contain flour, oils, additives, and color. One expert noted that rarely do you see someone slicing potatoes into wedges and putting them into a fryer. Most of the time, your fries have been through more processing than a tax return. Then there's the cooking method. High heat plus lots of oil creates unhealthy compounds in the food. The study notes that during their research period, restaurants switched from beef tallow in the 1980s to trans fat oils in the early 90s, which were eventually banned in 2018. So for decades, we were eating fries cooked in stuff that was literally illegal food. But the real problem might be portion control. As one dietitian put it, when you're eating a baked potato, you're usually eating a baked potato, but with French fries, it's hard to quantify what you take in. Translation: nobody orders 6 fries. They order the bucket. The experts say you don't have to eliminate potatoes entirely. Just eat them wisely. Cook them at home where you control the oil and salt. Keep the skin on. That's where the nutrition lives. And remember that potatoes should be about 1/4 of your plate, not the entire landscape. One researcher even suggested letting your potatoes cool down before eating them, which creates something called resistant starch. That's better for your blood sugar. So now we're supposed to wait for our food to get cold before we eat it. What's next? Are they going to tell us ice cream is healthier if we let it melt first? Portions of today's show were made with the help of fries with extra salt, fries with gravy, fries with AI, and of course, the Epstein files. Release them, you coward.
What if the biggest threat to the royal family is the royal family? I'm Mark Francis, host of Palace Intrigue, the daily podcast that goes behind the palace gates and straight into the headlines. Right now, we're digging into Entitled, the bombshell new book that claims Prince Andrew's ties to Jeffrey Epstein run deeper than ever imagined, with espionage, secret deals, and even possibly a Trump massage list. New episodes every day. Follow Palace Intrigue wherever you get your podcasts.
From the creators of Palace Intrigue, a new chapter in royal history begins. William and Kate's wedding captures the world's attention, but royal life isn't as perfect as it seems. Tensions rise as Harry meets Meghan, sparking a divide that will shake the monarchy to its core. From explosive interviews to family scandals, the royal family faces its most public challenges ever. As King Charles takes the throne, the future of the monarchy hangs in the balance. Family secrets, royal rifts, and the future of the crown. Crown and Controversy, wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Alligator Alcatraz, a new podcast from Calaroga Shark Media. They built a detention center in the Florida Everglades to separate families and break spirits. Surrounded it with alligators, figured that'd be the end of it. What they didn't count on was Tommy Esperanza, a quiet maintenance worker who turned their bureaucratic nightmare into something extraordinary. While corrupt politicians profited from human suffering and incompetent officials created disasters with PowerPoint presentations, Tommy built an underground network that reunited families, exposed massive fraud, and brought down a congressman. Where the Gators were smarter than the guards, families fought back against systematic cruelty, and one man proved that wisdom beats authority every single time. Alligator Alcatraz, available wherever you get your podcasts.